Okay, so today we continue with our class Hilchot Talmud Torah, and we start with Sefer Chafetz Chaim, and today's topic is claims that counter claims and counterclaims. Okay, so it says in Avos the Rabbi Nassan 27:3. Rabbi Yochanan ben Dechavai said, "Do not distance yourself from equality that is without limit, and from labor that is without end." So that's very interesting statement. So one more time: do not distance yourself from equality that is without limit, and from a labor that without end. So okay, to what can this be compared? To someone who took water from the ocean and cast it on a dry land. The ocean did not appear any less full, and the land did not become filled with water. The man grew frustrated. His employer said, "Foolish one, why are you upset? Each day you will receive a gold coin for your work." So that's the same. Of course, this is us, as we're going to see. So sometimes persons are why I'm doing like a same thing like over and over again, or I'm trying, and then of course I'm not going to be able to withstand this test of Lashon Hara, and how could I do that? Maybe better not even try. So and HaShem says I'm going to pay you for every time that you're going to withstand the test of anything, right? So of course it's worth it. So continue. The quality to which the sages referred is Shmiras Haloshon. The evil inclination seeks to discourage us from striving to develop this quality by way of following argument. What benefit will you have from studying the laws of and concept of proper speech? I mean that's what Yitzhak does. Yeah. Anyway, look, you have to you have to speak on the phone like half of the day with the customers, with your colleagues, this and that. So how is it possible not to talk Lashon? It's better not to know the laws. That's what Yitzhak is going to tell you. Are you really capable of guarding your tongue all your life? Like you're normal, like you have a family like that. You come from the minute they meet you, they start speaking about gossips, all of the gossip, all the Lashon Hara, all the Rechilus from the time that they from the last time that they saw you, like all of the news. So how is it possible, right? Try to avoid speaking Lashon Hara for even 1 day or two. That's what he say, and do not really think that you can avoid everything that is forbidden to speak. So say you're trying to live like that the whole life. Try 1 day, forget about whole life. Why you're a man in the world and have dealings with society and people, so with a scores of people. Okay, so Yitzhak tells you that it's a mission impossible, right? You have to deal with people, you have to go to the store, you have to meet your family, you have to meet your neighbors. So of course you meet your neighbors from downstairs. You're going to discuss the new neighbor or old neighbor. Okay. Don't even attempt to acquire this quality. It simply cannot be done. Guarding one's tongue requires constant vigilance. So vigilance, you must be like very careful not to say. And even you have a thought in your mind, say probably it's negative thought. Why would I say something negative? It is relevant countless times a day, every day of the person's life. And it appears to virtually every situation that can occur between man and his fellow. Rabbi Yochanan ben Dechavai teaches us that this is simply not true. One should not distance himself from this quality, which is deed without limit, as we shall explain. So, I mean, to be continued, but we got the idea. So just because you're going to fail many times in the beginning does not mean that that you're not going to be paid for all these times that you withstand the test. So I remember in my previous job in my office, right? So I had this boss, and he was like this character. This character, he wanted the things to be done in his way, whatever. So I would do his job, and he said, no, I'd like. So he checked what I did, and he said, change this, change that, and this I want for you completely to rebuild. Whatever was it. So, I mean, I say, okay, that's what you want to do. I'm going to do it. And some people in my group, they got so rebellious. How come I was working 3 months, 5 months, whatever, like period of time. So I was like absolutely like normal. I have assignment. I have job to do. I'm being paid even for do whatever the way he wanted. Even in the beginning, he wanted to do the way I did it initially. So it doesn't matter. I was paid. That's I did not live for the job. I just lived. I just went there because I needed money. That's it. So that should be our like similar. Like have the law approach. So even sometimes you fail, you're going to get paid for all of these good times. So continue, persevere. Okay. So in our topic, Hilchot Talmud Torah. So we did the longest halachah last time. The longest halachah in I think maybe even in the whole book with a commentary. So and the halachah we didn't finish. So I'm going to remind you a little what was the topic about. So we said the ban of ostracism is imposed upon a person, either man or woman, for the following 24 reasons. So let me quickly read the reasons without any explanations, and we're going to finish whatever is left over with explanations. So and we said that all of these reasons were to apply pressure on that person, right, to change his behavior. That's the explanation of these laws of ban of ostracism. So it says a person who disgraces a scholar even after his passing. B. A person who embarrasses a messenger of the court. C. A person who calls a colleague a slave. D. A person who was ordered to appear before court at a specified time and did not come. E. A person who treats even one point of rabbinical law with disrespect. Needless to say, this applies regarding the matters of scriptural law. So some, okay, we're not going to comment, we commented last time. So that's, as we said, many people, modern people are in this category, the one modifiers of the Torah. A person who refuses to comply with a decision rendered by the court, placed under the ban until he complies. G. A person who possesses an entity that can cause the damage. For example, dangerous dog, faulty ladder, is placed under the ban of a ban until he removes that entity. Next one, H. A person who sells land to a Gentile is placed under the ban until he accepts responsibility for the damages which Gentile may cause the Jewish neighbor. I. A person who testifies against a Jewish colleague in a secular court. So we discuss it in details. That's a very bad thing, right? And very common. And causes money which Torah law would not require him to pay to be expropriated from him and is placed under ban until he repays that amount. Okay. So basically, all of this, I guess, couples they go to through a divorce and they go to the secular court, and then they take money from alimony or child support from one side or another side. That does not matter. Like a man or woman, in this case, it does not matter. So if Torah would rule differently. So that's the thing, especially when man pays. That's for sure. When he pays child support, that's against the Torah. A butcher who is a Kohen and does not separate priestly gifts and and to give them to another coin is placed under the ban until he gives them. K. A person who violates the sanctity of the second day of the festivals in diaspora, even though they observe only as a custom. Okay, so we know what, for example, we know when 14th of Nisan is, we know when the Pesach is. So second day is like extra, even though it says a custom, but our sages say it's custom, but almost exactly the same laws apply. Okay, so it's custom, but it's not custom. L. A person who performs work on a Pesach Eve afternoon. M. A person who takes God's name in vain and takes an oath casually. N. A person who causes many to desecrate God's name. So we discussed it extensively last time. That's a very bad one, especially when... okay, I'm not going to discuss. Last time we discussed it. O. A person who causes many to eat sacrificial food outside the proper place. P. A person who calculates the years and declares leap year or fixes the day of the new month in diaspora. So, of course, it was said about person before the calendar was fixed. After the calendar was fixed, of course, it does not apply. I mean, who is going to listen to him, right? See, this person is not going to confuse anybody. I mean, technically he can. I mean, if people do not have calendars, but okay. A person who causes blind, there is a morally unaware, to stumble, right? So all of these people, the crooks who gives wrong advice, are a person who prevents the many from performing mitzvah. Okay. So that's a very famous example would be that kosher rabbi comes to town, right? So Rabbi Reuven Shlita wants to come to New York, and so, let's say, right? And some people say no, and some people want to invite him and say no, he cannot come here, this and that. So all of these people in this category. Now, S. A butcher who sold non-kosher meat. T. A butcher who does not inspect his knife in the presence of a scholar. And U. A person who unintentionally causes himself to have an erection. Okay, so that's with what we did so far. And now the last 3 points. So it's V. A person who divorces his wife and then enters into a partnership or business dealing with her, which requires them to come into contact. When they come into court, they are placed under the ban. Commentary. After divorce, couples should have a little contact with each other as possible, lest the familiarity they previously enjoyed lead them to intimacy outside the bounds of the marriage. See also Hilchot 21-27. So it's proper, like if people get divorced, okay, even they do not want to move to different places, like to different cities, let's say, right, for whatever reason. So still, I think in Yisrei B'yah, they say they cannot live on the same street, right? Like some further as further as possible, so they don't see each other, right? So if, for example, it's only one grocery store in our neighborhood, right? So he's going to meet her like every time they buy groceries. Okay, so it's not proper. Continue. The next one, W. A scholar whose reputation is unsavory. So commentary. Moed Katan 17a relates how Rabbi Yehuda passed a ban of ostracism on the sage for this reason. So whatever he did whatever he did, this scholar. Okay. Okay. Next one, X. A person who places a person under ban when the latter does not deserve such a punishment. That's a famous one, 132. I think they're going to tell the story. Reish Lakish, right? So Reish Lakish is the one of the famous Balchuva ever, right? And he did a mistake. I mean, he was a little excited, or a little too much excited. So let's see the story. It's from Moed Katan 17a, relates the following episode. Reish Lakish was employed as a watchman and noticed a thief, right? Although he shouted at him, the thief did not stop. Therefore, Reish Lakish proclaimed, "You under the ban of ostracism." The thief replied, "Although I'm obligated to repay him, right, I'm not obligated to be ostracized. You should be ostracized." So exactly like so that it's very interesting. So the thief was a Torah scholar, right? So he said, "Okay, I of course for what I stole, I'm obligated to repay, but this punishment that you give me, like to ostracize, the ban of ostracism, does not apply to me. For all of these 24 other, like in this 23 other occurrence, not including this one, not for the thievery, right?" So he said, "Because you place me, or try to place me under the ban wrongly, so you should be under the ban." It's the last one in our list. It's very interesting. When the matter was related to the house of study, the scholar stated that a Reish Lakish ban was not justified and the thief's was. So of course he went back to yeshiva and said, "That's what happened to me," right? So that's they say the thief was right. Okay, continue. The Ravat and others commentators mention other acts in which ban of ostracism is in order. Indeed, the number of cases, see Hilchas Gerushim 1320, so it's laws of divorce, right? The Rambam himself mentioned this punishment. Okay. The commentary explained that Rambam's limit himself to 24 instances because that is the figure mentioned in the Talmud. However, this can be considered to be general category, including other instances as well. So okay, so 24, he got this number from the Talmud, and that's how he compiled these 24 categories. Okay, so we finished that chapter. Any questions on what we said, like in last time or this time, on these bans? Okay, so I think this is the last chapter, as we referred many times before. So now this chapter. So now in this chapter they go into details of the ban. Okay. So Halachah number 1. So after we finish this chapter, we're not going to go in this book. So Rabbi Reuven Shlita told me the next subject that we should learn together. Very interesting. Okay. So chapter 7, Halachah 1. Even though a sage who is distinguished for his wisdom, the Nasi, or the Af of Beis Din, acts shamefully, they should never be publicly placed under the ban of ostracism unless their deeds resemble those of Yeravam ben Nevat and his colleagues. However, if one of these individuals performs other sins, he should be punished by lashes privately. As implied in Hosea 4:5, you shall stumble during the day. You shall stumble during the day, and the prophet will stumble with you at night. Okay. There is, even though he stumbles, cover him like night. He is told, preserve your honor and stay home. Similarly, when the Torah scholar is obligated, whenever a Torah scholar is obligated to be ostracized, it is forbidden for a court to act harshly and pronounce the ban hastily. Instead, they should shun the matter and try to avoid it. The pious among the sages would be proud of the fact that they never participated in the ostracism of the Torah scholars. Nevertheless, they would participate in sentencing him to be lashed. They would even participate in a sentencing him to receive stripes for rebellion. Okay. Okay, so that's the whole halacha. So let's do from the beginning, and we're going to explain what it says here. It's a lot of information, Baruch Hashem. And it's actually related to a case, not this related, but there was a case in Israel, maybe a year, 2 years ago, I don't remember. So they started these rumors about one rabbi, which is actually was a tzaddik, and all of these non-kosher people and non-kosher reporters, and there were no witnesses, but they say there were witnesses and stuff like that, that he molested children, which was not true, and it was not proven, and it's crazy what people did to him, even though no Beis Din ever pronounced it. No, it did not even went to investigation because there were no evidence whatsoever. It's unbelievable. So I mean, very, very, very sad story, and many people unfortunately believe it, and they because of this secular reporter like put it in this newspaper, that they took it like for granted. That's what it was. Okay, so but halacha is, as we just saw, it's exactly opposite. So from the beginning, even though a sage who is distinguished for his wisdom, the Nasi or the Av Beis Din acts shamefully. So we're not denying that whatever they did is not was not the most exemplary behavior. So one more time, distinguished sage, Nasi. Nasi, we said, who is Nasi? Nasi is the top religious authority. So he's the head of the Beis Din, right? President of Beis Din. And the Av Beis Din. So Av Beis Din is deputy of Nasi. So top religious people, right? So they act shamefully. So we're not denying it. They should never be publicly placed under the ban of ostracism. Publicly, commentary. In a counter suit, the ban issued against a common person, which announced publicly. Chapter 6, meaning last one, Halachah 12. So for these simple people, we said that it must be public knowledge. Why? Why public knowledge? Because we're not allowed to deal with him, like to do business with him and other things, right? We have to stay away from him. We cannot count him in the minyan and stuff like that, right? So about these people, right? We should never they should never be publicly placed under the ban of ostracism. Commentary. The Moed Katan 17a relates that a special ordinance was passed in effect in Usha. Okay. Unless the deeds resemble those Yeravam ben Nevat. So Yeravam ben Nevat, we spoke about him a few times in the past. So he's the leader of the 10 tribes. So after the death of Shlomo HaMelech, right? So the kingdom split. 10 tribes went to the north, like to the northern kingdom, Israel, and the south, included Yerushalayim, it was Yehuda and Benjamin, was under Davidic dynasty rule. Okay, so this Yerovam ben Nevat from the northern kingdom, he installed golden calves. He started all the pagan temples and Asherah trees, all of the garbage in the world. That's him. So of course, so Rambam is very clear. Unless their deeds resemble Yerovam ben Nevat, so most likely. So in other case, most likely whatever they did is not even close resemble to what this king did. Okay, so idol worship and all other things. So as Yerovam ben Nevat and his colleagues. Commentary. The Moed Katan states that the scholar is given this consideration even if he repeatedly violates the same transgression. So still this person is a Torah scholar, so we give him big discount as we see. The case of so even for the same transgression, as we learned before, when a person does the same transgression, it's like in his eyes he nullifies this as a law. So when a person transgressed one time, okay, it was he could not hold himself back. 2 times, yeah. But if he's doing it like every time, it's like he nullifies that's Halachah. Okay, that's much more severe. The case of Mishnah notes that a ban of ostracism was passed against Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, what does it mean? Rabbi Eliezer. See Baba Metzia 59b. Despite him being one of the most prominent sages. Very interesting. Nevertheless, he explains that this measure was taken lest the strife of division arises among Jews. Okay. Alternatively, even when the ban was carried out in a private manner. Okay. Continue. However, if one of those individuals perform other sins, meaning this Torah scholars, famous Torah scholar or Nasi or Arbezdin, right? However, if one of these individuals performs other sins, he should be punished by lashes privately. So he deserves it, but not public. Public is too much. It's too much, right? As implied in HaShem 4:5. Okay. You shall stumble during the day, and the private will stumble with you at night. There is, even though he stumbles, cover him like night. So meaning out of respect for their position, like for their stature in the Jewish nation. He is told, preserve your honor and stay at home. Commentary. The phrase borrowed from the king's base. Okay, continue. Similarly, whenever a Torah scholar, commentary, there is a scholar of the lesser stature than those mentioned in the previous clause, case of Mishnah. So not as big. Okay. Similarly, whenever a Torah scholar is obligated to be ostracized, it is forbidden for a court to act harshly and pronounce the ban hastily. Meaning, somebody said as in a case as I gave you this real case from a few years ago. So even though there were no case to begin with, so no Beis Din ever look at this case because there were no case. But other people and even some rabbis, some people who should know better, like they judge and say, yeah, he's guilty based on exactly zero evidence. And without witnesses, without anything, they just decided. Unfortunately, instead they should shun the matter and try to avoid it. Okay, so don't be in rush to pronounce somebody big like that or dedicated to Torah all his life that he's immoral or something. Number 8. Before he would pronounce a ban of ostracism against fellow sage, Mar Zutra would pronounce such a ban against himself, so that he would appreciate the suffering of the colleague would undergo. See Moed Katan. So that's Mar Zutra. That's why he is Mar Zutra. So he would pronounce this ban upon himself, which is allowed, right? And just see how it feels to be on a ban. Understand? So before you do something to your colleagues, so do it on yourself. Try it on yourself. See how it feels. The pious among the sages would be proud of the fact that they never participated in the ostracism of the Torah scholars. So that's one of the matter to be proud, not to denigrate anybody. Number 9. Rav Papa would boast that he never took part in such activity. So pronounce somebody to put another scholar on the ban. Continue. Nevertheless, they would participate in sentencing him to lashes. Lashes, it's a different story, as because even just because he's a Torah scholar does not mean that he's above the law. Law is for everybody, right? Shulchan Aruch is for everybody. If he deserves the lashes, okay, give him lashes, but to embarrass him in public, that's too much. So they can give him privately. Commentary. The minimum punishment received for violation of one of the Torah prohibitions. These are lashes. Okay. They would even participate in sentencing him to receive stripes for rebellion. So let's read the commentary and we're going to explain. The punishment received for a violation of rabbinic prohibition or failing to perform a positive commandment, says Hulim 14b. Pesachim 52a relates that a rabbinical student was punished in this matter for traveling beyond the permitted limits on the second day of Shavuos. Okay, so let's try to understand. So our sages have a right to pronounce these lashes, even for things that Torah would not say that the person should get lashes. So all of these lashes usually given for some violation of Torah commandments, right? So here, for rebellious conduct, they can give this punishment even for somebody who violated rabbinic one, right? Rabbinical violation, and even if it's not violation, but when the sages were afraid that if we allow this person behave as he behaves or she behaves, so it's going to lead the whole community to the wrong way, so they were allowed to do this punishment, and sometimes even to kill a person. Okay. Continue. Number 2. How is a ban issued? So here, I mean, I'm not sure what was the rationale, but now we're going into details how the ban works, right? So first we listed like all of this all of these deeds for which a person would be put in a ban, but now how it works. Okay, maybe it's okay. Doesn't matter. Rambam said it's good. That's the logic. That's the logic. Number 2, how the ban is issued. The court pronounces so and so shall be ostracized. If the ban is issued in his presence, the court pronounces this person and so and so shall be ostracized. A ban of excommunication is issued as follows. They tell them, so and so is excommunicated. The expression he is cursed implies a curse, an oath, and a ban of ostracism. So let's see, of course, there are a lot of details. So now we get second pronouncement. So one is the ban of ostracism, and then another one is excommunication. So what is the difference, right? So one more time. How the ban is issued. The court pronounced so and so shall be ostracized. Commentary. There is a mentioned person's name, so that name must be mentioned always. If the ban is issued in his presence, the court pronounces this person so and so shall be ostracized. So if he is not in his presence, so people must know who exactly they're talking about. If he's there, so they point at him and still pronounce his name. So commentaries say, the commentaries have found a direct source for this and other pronouncements quoted in this and the following Halachah. Rav Kappa suggested that Rambam is quoting a tradition conveyed to him verbally by his teachers. Very interesting. Okay, we skip that. Okay, so we skip a little. The Torah in Yorach there 344 differs and explains that they represent two different levels of ban. According to the Torah, there are 3 bans. One is more severe than another. Right? So it's Nidui and Cherem. The Rambam differs and recognizes only two levels, meaning Nidui and Cherem. So we're going to see what is the difference between Nidui and Cherem. Okay. A ban of excommunication is issued as follows. They tell him, so and so is excommunicated. More severe ban is explained in Halachah 5. Okay, so now we're talking about, so excommunication is more severe ban than ostracism. excommunication. The expression he is cursed implies a curse, an oath, and a ban of ostracism. So what does it mean? There is, if court made such a pronouncement, it would have this implication. So meaning the curse. See also Hilchot Sanhedrin 26:3. Okay, let's continue. They're going to explain the difference between two. So even though Tur said 3, I mean Halachah is according to Rambam it's 2. Okay. Continue. Halachah number 3. How is ban of ostracism or excommunication is lifted? So how are they placed? So the different wording, we got it. How is it lifted up? They tell him, you are released, you are forgiven. The ban is lifted outside. If the ban is lifted outside of the presence, they say so and so is released, so and so is forgiven. Okay, so let's do these commentaries from the beginning. How the ban of ostracism or excommunication is lifted? They tell him. Commentary. There is a ban is lifted if the ban is lifted in a person's presence, you are released. Okay, you are forgiven. Commentary. The Mordechai in Moed Katam 235 quotes a responsum of Geonim, which also mention forgiveness in a statement nullifying a ban. Note also that similarities between these expressions and those used in the release of the oath. See Hilchot Shavuos 6.5 and the Rambam commentary to Mishnah Nedarim 10.8. Okay, so there is some similarity. So he is forgiven. So of course he would need to do teshuvah, right? Why teshuvah? Why should, because he did something against Halachah, against other people, right? So that's why we put them on the ban. So most likely he did something against people, right? Continue. If the ban is lifted outside of his presence, commentary, not Halachah 13, we're going to get to it, which states that the ban that was issued in a person's presence must be lifted in his presence. So if you in my understanding, so if you embarrass him so much, so you have to give him some covet, some respect, and lift it the ban in his presence. So respect meaning in this case that he changed his action, right? Otherwise they would never lift the ban. So meaning that he changed, and we respect it, and we give him credit. Okay, so they say so and so is released, so and so is forgiven. Okay. Any questions on what we said so far? Okay, so then we continue. So number 4, what are the practices that must be observed by the person who is ostracized and those who come into contact with him? A. So here's the rules of these bans, right? A. He is forbidden to cut his hair or launder his clothes like a mourner throughout the entire period of ostracism. So he is not allowed to cut his hair because nobody else allowed to cut his hair or to launder his clothing. B. He is not included in a zimun nor in a quorum of 10 men with regard to any matter that requires 10. C. No one should sit within him 4 cubits of him. He may, however, teach others, and others may teach him. He may be hired, and he may hire others. If he dies while under the ban, the court sends an emissary who places a stone on his coffin, as if to say that they are stoning him because he was separated from the community. Needless to say, eulogies are not recited for him, nor a beer, meaning the casket, accompanied. Okay, so let's do from the beginning in these commentaries. It's very interesting. So from the beginning, what are the practices that must be observed by a person who is ostracized and those who come into contact with him? Commentary number 19. There is no list of such practices in previous sources. Rather, Rambam compiled the list based on various Talmudic passages. So many things, for many things, there is the direct source in a Talmud, right? But for some things, they just mentioned in a Talmud, when the Rambam compiled them into the list. Okay, so A. He's forbidden to cut his hair or launder his clothes like a mourner. Commentary. Okay, see Hilchos evil. Okay, evil. Continue. Throughout the entire period of ostracism. So minimum ban, if I recall correctly, it's 30 days. So of course, and then if he insists on being stubborn and do not change, so they would add another 30 days and another 30 days, as many times as they need to. So he's not allowed to wash himself and launder his clothing. So it's one of the way I understand it's one of the way to put a pressure on him, right? Psychological pressure to change. The case of Mishnah notes in Bava Metzia 59b relates that when Rabbi Eliezer was notified of the ban issued against him, he removed his shoes. He explained that this was also the common practice in Spain for the person placed under ban of ostracism. Okay, so in addition to continue. B. He is not included as Zimun. So Zimun, as we explained in our Kitzur Shulchan Aruch class, I don't know, like a few weeks ago, I guess, was it maybe more than a few weeks ago. So it's one of the people. Zimun, it's like when you say Birchas Hamazon, and you want to like do this invitation formula. It's minimum 3 people or 10 people. So, but minimum 3. So he is not allowed. So we are not allowed to count him one of the 3 or 10 people. 3 plus people. If we ate together, nor a quorum of 10 with regard to the matter that requires 10. So if he's number 10 in the prayers and the shul, we cannot count him. We cannot read Torah. We cannot say Kaddish, Kedusha, nothing. Right? Why? Because he's under the ban. Commentary. There is a minyan for communal prayers or the like. See Hilchos Tefillah 8, Halachos 4 through 6. The case of Mishnah explained that this is the essential element of the ban of ostracism. Like everybody know, and it's like he's nobody, like he's not there. The purpose of such a punishment is to separate person from the entire Jewish community. That's, as we said, that's applied pressure. Including such a person is a part of the minyan would defeat the purpose, so he is separated. This concept is not explicitly mentioned in our text of the Talmud. Nevertheless, Baal Halachas Hagidolas quotes the following passage from Moed Katan 16a, which is lacking in our version of that text. Very interesting. So throughout the ages, we lost some of the contents, right, of this, like because of the persecution and because of many reprintings. Okay, so it says in this place, how do we know that he separated from the community? In Ezra 10:8 states, whoever does not come, his property will be expropriated, and he will be set apart for the community of the exiles. So meaning when Ezra was trying, I guess, I'm just guessing, to inspire people to go and build the Beis Hamikdash. That's the thing. Okay, continue. C. No one should sit within 4 cubits of him. Right, so it's like he comes somewhere, so we have to stand up and leave. Just go. Very interesting. 24. This is derived from Baba Metzia 59a, which relates that when Rabbi Akiva visited Rabbi Eliezer, after the latter was placed under the ban, he would keep a distance from him. So 4 cubits, it's like 8 feet. It's less than 8 feet. Okay. Continue. He may, however, teach others, and other may teach him. So Torah is a different story. He may be hired, and he may hire others. He may be hired, 25, to work for Jews, right? Jews can hire him, and he may hire others, 26. There is have other Jews to work for him. Moed Katan raised question about other restriction. For example, may a person who was ostracized be greeted, or may he wear tefillin and lives then unresolved? So it's very interesting. So it's questionable if we can greet such a person, or he's allowed to wear tefillin. The Rambam failure to mention them indicates that he takes a lenient view. So if Rambam, it's very interesting. If Rambam does not say that we're not allowed to greet him, meaning what? That we are allowed to greet him, or he's allowed to wear tefillin. Rav Yitzchak Alfasi and Rabbeinu Asher explicitly adopt the lenient positions. Nadarim, about these greetings and tefillin. Nadarim 20b said that a person who is ostracized is forbidden to engage in marital intimacy. So, of course, it applies to wife as well, right? Rambam quotes this law in Hilchot Yisrei Bia, 21:12. So, Hilchot Yisrei Bia, it's law between husband and wife. Very interesting topic. Okay. So, meaning that the wife is as all other members of the society, she's forbidden to have relations with him, or even she's not allowed to come close to him like this for Amos. Okay, continue. If he dies while under the ban, the court sends an emissary who places a stone on his coffin, as if to say that they are stoning him because he was separated from the community. So if he would do teshuvah and he would regret his action, that's a different story. But forgive him. But some people are very stubborn, right? So he was separated from the community. 27. Iduyot 5:6 relates how sages carried out this practice. 27. Continue. Any questions? So continue. Needless to say, eulogies are not recited for him, nor his casket accompanied. That's very rough. So let's say eulogy. Needless to say, commentary. The following restrictions are not mentioned explicitly in the Talmud, but Rambam derives them by logic. Needless to say, eulogies are not recited for him, nor his casket accompanied. 29. There is nothing is done in his honor. Nothing is done in his honor. However, his family may be paid the respect given the mourners. See Beis Yosef, Yoredea 334. So his family sit in Shiva for him, so you can come and visit his family. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We'll continue. Okay. So next halachah, number 5. A person who is excommunicated has even before we're talking about the ban of ostracism, now we're going to excommunication. We said it's much more severe, right? A person who is excommunicated has even more severe restrictions. He may not teach others, and other may not teach him. So that's, you see, that's much more severe. And that, okay, it's Torah, so he can come and, okay, the people would sit at the distance, but still you're allowed to listen to the Torah, right? Nevertheless, he may study himself so that he does not forget what he learns. So that's a different story. I mean, if we don't allow him to learn Torah privately, who knows what he is going to do, right? That's okay. He may not be hired, nor he is allowed to hire others. You see how it's much more severe. He would not engage in trade. We would not engage in trade with him. Indeed, we should not have any business dealings with him except the bare minimum necessary for his livelihood. So sages will calculate how much business we can give him, and that's it. So beyond that, of course, we want him to submit. We want him to change his action. Of course, we're never allowed to kill him for that, right? So we give him bare minimum. Okay, so we start for this Halachah 5 from the beginning, and we're going to explain Beezrat HaShem. A person who is... yeah, go ahead.
Is that for Jew to Jew and Jew to Gentile as well?
Jew to Gentile. So your question is: are Gentiles obligated to by these halachas?
Let's say, like you just said, he's nobody can come teach him, or he cannot teach anybody.
Okay.
So if a Gentile comes to him and says, "Hey, can you just ask him a random question, or wants to do business with him, trading or whatever?" Is that?
That's a very, very good question. So, I mean, let's try continue reading, but it's my guess. So all of these are between one Jew and another Jew. So I mean, I would say between the Jew and his community, or his town, whatever, right? But can you forbid a Gentile that comes and sell? Okay, look, nobody buys from you your cucumbers, right? You have a lot of cucumbers, so usually they call they sell you for $1 a pound. Look, I can give you 30 cents, my Jewish friend. How about that? And that guy have no choice. That nobody's going to buy, so he can sell. So in this case, the Jew actually violating Halachah. Gentile, I mean, he just did business. He took advantage of situation. There is no problem. He's a good businessman, right? You buy low and sell high. That's how you get rich. So we cannot force Gentile to abide by this law, unless I think if I'm whatever I'm speaking right now, it's from the logic. I'm not sure if it's halachah or not, but logically, if he's one of the residents in the land of Israel, one of the Noachites that accepted upon themselves not to worship idols and 7 laws of Noach, right? So in that case, I think we would force him to abide by these rules. But if living in diaspora, of course you cannot abide Gentile to go by these rules. But I think even for this Jew is going to get punished, because he violates this rule of excommunication. So the rules of excommunication on me, so I cannot do business with him, and he also is not allowed to do business with others. But it's a very good question. Very good question. Okay, so let's continue reading. One sec, let me check time quickly. Okay, so it says a person who is excommunicated has even more severe restrictions. Commentary. Indeed, the nature of harem. So harem is excommunication. I'm sure you heard this word. Harem is so severe that there are many great sages who would not even utter this word, but would refer to it only by allusion of numerical equivalent. So that's very interesting. So one more time. Indeed, the nature of harem is so severe that there are many great sages who would not even pronounce this word, but only, I'm not sure what is the numerical, like whatever number is it. Okay. Continue. Okay, so now actually one more time the whole line. We say a person who is excommunicated has even more severe restrictions. He may not teach others, and other may not teach him. So you can see, like as we started this section of Hilchot Talmud Torah, that you are created to learn Torah day and night, right? So now when they say you're not allowed to teach others or to learn from others, you see how severe this situation is. So commentators say because any contact with him or others is discouraged. Okay, so because they're going to start talking the Torah, and they finish talking about all other things. Nevertheless, he may study by himself, so that he does not forget what he learns. Right. So as we said, always you have to review whatever you learn. Okay, for he is still considered a Jew and is obligated in all mitzvahs. So this excommunication does not cancel all other mitzvahs. So everything still applies to him. Okay. Continue. He may not be hired, nor he is allowed to hire others. So as you see, like if he's a businessman, so his business is dead, right? As you see from here, right? He would not engage in a trade. We would not engage in trade with him. Okay. Indeed, he should not have any business dealings with him except bare minimum necessary for his livelihood. Commentary. Since he is still considered a part of the Jewish people, he is granted the possibility of earning a livelihood. I mean, one more time, we don't want to kill the poor guy. We just want him to change his behavior. Continue. Next Halachah number 6. When a person was ostracized. So now we're going to the more lenient punishment, right? For 30 days. When the person was ostracized for 30 days and did not seek to be released from the ban, he is placed under the ban under a second ban. If he was ostracized for a second 30 days without seeking release, he's excommunicated. So that's how the procedure works. Okay, so let's start from the beginning with commentaries. When a person was ostracized for 30 days, number 34, generally the ban of ostracism is imposed for this amount of time, as we said before, right? So 30 days. So we give him 30 days, and he did not seek to be released from the ban. So basically, the guy did not care, right? 35. So the way it should work, so he would come to the court and say, look, I know you put me on the ban, but I changed my behavior, so please release me from the ban. So if he never came, so meaning, we're not obligated to check on him or whether he changed or not. Okay. Commentary. Should the ostracized person repent from his previous behavior and seek to be released? The ban may be lifted even before this time period elapses. So if after two hours, when he realized what happened, he repented and changed the circumstances, of course we can release the ban. Indeed, this is the goal of the ban, to motivate him to alter and improve himself with respect of the previous deeds. That's the only. We don't want the guy to punish, to suffer. We want him to change. Okay. So, but if he did not come to the Beis Din, right, we place him under the ban a second time. 36. In Hilchot Toen Vinitan 1.5, based on Kiddushin 12b, Rabbi states that if a person does not repent after a ban of ostracism, he is beaten. Then there are other slight difference between these two halachas. So there he is beaten. So after they give him lashes, people usually soften up a little or a lot. Continue. If he was ostracized for the second 30 days without seeking release, he's excommunicated. So now 60 days pass, he's not getting the point, he's excommunicated. 37. Avodat HaMelech notes that Hilchot Sanhedrin 25:11, the Rambam writes that excommunication is imposed after only 30-day period, one 30-day period, okay, of ostracism. However, the difference between these halachas can be resolved, for the latter halachas refer to the case when a warning was issued before the first ban of ostracism was imposed. So here, in some sense, there is no warning, so they just put him on the ban, so it's a different story. Okay, so I guess we can stop here and continue next time. Okay, any questions on what we said? Or any topic, actually, any topic, whatever you want. Yes, go ahead.
Is all this that you mentioned, is all this going to take place again when the Mashiach returns and the temple is built?
I apologize. Could you speak up a little and start from the beginning?
Sorry.
Oh, now it's better. Go ahead.
Okay. Is all this going to take place again when the Mashiach comes and the temple is built and everything like that?
No, after the Mashiach comes and the temple is built, that means it's the world to come, like after Messianic time, right? Messianic time. So HaShem is going to slaughter Eitz Hara. So if there is no evil inclination, there is no need for these laws ever. So these people they insist on their wrong ways because of the arrogance. You understand? Because of the Eitz Hara, this evil inclination tells me, you have to take advantage of this, take advantage of that, and you have to insult a Torah scholar, for example, was the first one, and others. So, but when you don't have an evil inclination, there is no reason for that. You understand? So these laws until, I would say, until Mashiach comes and after resurrection of the dead, until that period of time. Okay. What else? Any other questions? All right. If not, so we stop here. So tomorrow, Beezrat HaShem, we're going to continue with our new class, Kosher Kitchen, and we're still in introduction. So introduction means that before we go into all the technical details, this is kosher, this is not kosher, meat, milk, it's very interesting, but we must know why we're doing mitzvahs in general, not only kosher, but all other mitzvahs. That's very important, like for us to have a solid foundation. Okay, thank you very much, and good night then.